Hello and good morning, everybody. You're with Martin Penev, Chief Account Executive and Trading Analyst, GDMFX. Welcome to today's Euro Session Morning Outlook. I will summarize the events from last week as a starter, starting from the indices. All of the traders which are actually speculating on the indices in the electronic trade, they saw that the German DAX was actually the biggest mover. It made about almost 400 Punkten short for last week. Pretty much the same movement was with the French CAC 40, going down with over 200 pips in 1 week last week. The trade in France will have a little bit of a break today as a bank holiday is in place. Moving on to the US markets, those are showing some slight recovery by the end of the week, and also during the Asian session today. Moving next to commodities, commodity traders we're expecting a little down correction on the gold price, as the pressure remains to the downside for this week. The WTI crude oil has slipped to below $101 per barrel, hitting all of our targets actually for last week, for Friday. And by the way, that happened about 4 times last week. So the recommendations I would advise you to take a closer look at. As we have mentioned on a few different occasions last week, the biggest mover in the end of the week was the loonie, the Canadian dollar. We were waiting for employment and unemployment data to come out in the global economic calendar, which came out a little bit negative than expected. And we saw quite of a price action. The US dollar versus the Canadian dollar jumped by almost 100 pips, 98 pips move. The British pound versus the Canadian dollar, almost 160 pip move to 1.8380. The euro Canadian dollar, again 50 pip moves. The Japanese yen versus the Canadian dollar fell by 86 pips to 94.40. And since we're at it, no major news in the economic calendar for the week with regards to the Canadian dollar until we get again to the end of it, where we are going to see the CPI inputs year on year and month on month. No Tier 1 news scheduled for today from the calendar. As microeconomic indicators, though, the happening will come later on today as the ECB president, Mr. Mario Draghi, will have a speech. He is considering a substantial liquidity boost as a gift, pretty much as a gift amongst the banking system in the Eurozone. So let us wait and see what will come out from his speech later on today. A lot of volatility is expected this week, starting from tomorrow, as quite a few catalysts are scheduled in the calendar, all of which again start from tomorrow. The main currencies affected by the news are the British pound starting from tomorrow, euro, the Kiwi, and the Aussie. This will come sooner, simply because of the Chinese data, which is going to come later on this week. GDP data in China, quite important. Also, the United States and the Canadian dollars are going to be quite moving around the charts this week. That was all from me from today. Thank you very much for paying attention. I wish you to have a successful trading day. Cheers and bye-bye.